So it seems like rappers blowing up while they're in jail is the new wave. We saw that with XXXTentacion, and now we are seeing it with this guy, Tay K 47. Now, Tay K might just go down as hip-hop's most savage rapper. So if you have no clue who this guy is, well, Tay K is a rapper out of Arlington, Texas who's currently blowing up all over the internet. And the main reason as to why he is blowing up is because he recorded a song called The Race while being on the run from the police. And ironically enough, Tay K released the song the same day he was captured by the U.S Marshals. And why did the song receive so much attention, and why did Tay K receive so much attention, you may ask? Well, that's because Tay K is talking about killing people in the song.
I woke up to Moody, who gon' die today? Shoot a fuckboy in his motherfucking face. We could get up, but you don't wanna go that way.
Now, the reason as to why he was captured by the police in the first place was because he was connected to a robbery and a shooting which resulted in a young man named Ethan Walker losing his life. And just a couple days before Tay K's court hearing in March, where it would be determined whether he would be charged as an adult for the shooting that killed Ethan Walker, Tay K cut off his ankle monitor and basically started running. And Tay K sent this tweet out right after he cut his ankle monitor off saying, "F this house arrest, F12 they gon' have to catch me on hood." And that's where the whole song The Race comes in, because in his song Tay K says, "F a beat, I was trying to beat a case, but I ain't beat the case, B, I did the race." And that's exactly what he means by the race meaning running from the cops. So Tay K cut his ankle monitor off in March and he started running in March, and Tay K recorded the song The Race that is blowing up right now while he was on the run, and then he released it the same day he was captured by the police, and that's why the song is blowing up. And Tay K even recorded the music video by his own wanted sign. And another thing that Tay K is accused of is beating up a 65-year-old man.
17, but police say he's armed, dangerous, and on the run. And tonight his victims tell us they hope he's found soon before anyone else is hurt.
Oh, I'll never forget his face.
65-year-old Skip Pepe of Arlington says he'll never forget.
Looks like a, all-American high school kid.
The face of the young man who attacked him last month in Cravens Park.
The whole time he had his arm extended and holding the gun sideways like that, saying, "Give me your wallet."
We showed him a photo of Taymor McIntyre, the focus of a U.S Marshals manhunt.
Oh, yeah.
He says he's also identified McIntyre's picture for police.
That's the one who pulled the gun on me and beat me.
And Tay K is actually connected to another murder that happened in 2015 after him and his friends were out one night after a party, and as they were driving home they stopped at a red light and then they started arguing with another car beside them, and one of Tay K's friends, whose name is Santana Sage, who also was a Marine soldier, fired his gun after the argument and ended up killing a young woman named Sara Mutschlechner. Very unfortunate situation. So this was back in late 2015, and just 3 weeks ago Tay K's friend who fired the gun and ended up killing that young woman got sentenced to 44 years in prison.
44 years. That's the sentence that was handed down today to a Marine who was convicted of killing a UNT student. On Monday is when this all unfolded. Jurors found Eric Johnson guilty of shooting Sara Mutschlechner on New Year's Day back in 2016. The Denton County District Attorney confirmed on Twitter that Johnson will be eligible for parole based on the sentence after serving 22 years of the 44 I mentioned. The jury could have sent him to prison for life.
Now, there hasn't been any updates on that specific case, so I don't know if Tay K is still connected to that particular crime, but now you know that Tay K was captured by the police because he was connected to 2 different murders and 1 assault. So as you can see, Tay K is in some really deep water right now, but he hasn't been convicted of anything just yet. But believe it or not, a lot of people are actually supporting the fact that Tay K should be released. Now, one of the biggest names that have been advocating the release of Tay K is none other than Lil Yachty. So Lil Yachty released a remix to Tay K's song The Race a little over a week ago where he says, "Free Tay K."
It's your boat, put a nigga in a place. Rich as fuck, out the window, free Tay K. For sure I did, I got less than 10K.
And we've even seen rappers like Travis Scott paying his respect to Tay K by tweeting his lyrics from his song The Race. And Playboi Carti played his song at one of his concerts, and Kodak Black also played Tay K's song at one of his concerts. So as you can see, Tay K has a lot of support from the public, and not only quote-unquote normal people, but people with very high status. On the other hand, there's a lot of people who think that he shouldn't be released at all. But one thing that I can't help but notice is how strategic Tay K was when it came to his The Race song. I mean, the guy cut his ankle monitor, recorded a song called The Race while running from the police, while making references on the song about killing people, while he is a suspect in a fatal shooting, and worst of all, he released the song on the same day he was captured by the police. So I want to use Justin Bieber as an example to this whole Tay K situation. Now, don't click off the video just yet because this is gonna make sense. So do you remember how a couple years ago Justin Bieber went from this bubblegum pop singer who caters so much to younger girls and is so family friendly to being a criminal who's fighting with the paparazzi? Now, the media was painting Justin Bieber as this thug. They were comparing Justin to an icon like Tupac in hopes of slandering Tupac's name, which was of course completely BS. But the point is that the bad boy image of Justin was selling. Everywhere on the media, Justin Bieber was being talked about for going through such a drastic change in his personality. Now, how does this relate to Tay K? So hypothetically speaking, what if it turns out that Tay K really isn't about that life and that he's just selling an image? What if Tay K the rapper is just painting this fake image of actually being a savage just for the shock value? Because let's keep it real, it really seems like Tay K was planning this all along. He cut his ankle monitor off to be on the run from the police, recorded a song called The Race, recorded the music video at his own wanted sign, and released the song of the music video the same day he was captured. Now to me, that seems planned. And of course it worked, because everywhere on social media everyone is talking about Tay K. Now there's two different types of savages. There is a savage like Bunk, the guy who's currently going viral for stealing donuts and doing these crazy publicity stunts to boost his rap career. I've talked about him before on my channel. Now, even though someone like Bunk is a savage, Bunk is not hurting anyone. The guy found a way to promote his rap career without really physically hurting anyone. Now I'm not comparing what he does, but I'm just gonna compare what Bunk does to what Tay K does, or what allegedly Tay K did, because he's not convicted just yet. Or even take 21 Savage as an example, because 21 Savage is the guy who says, 21 Savage, not boys in the hood, but I pull up on you and shoot your ass in the back. Or when he says, wet your mama's house, wet your grandma's house, keep shooting until somebody die. So many shots, the neighbor looked at the calendar, thought it was 4th of July. But from what we have learned about 21 Savage is that he sells an image. 21 Savage sells that murder and savage image that a lot of people get drawn to. So there we have another level of savage where you talk about killing people, but of course you don't, just like 21 Savage. But look at someone like Tay K. Now, although we don't have evidence of him committing any of these crimes because he's still not convicted yet, so technically he is innocent until proven guilty, Tay K is straight up saying himself in his songs that he kills people. And with him doing that, he's gone viral. Now, Tay K is unfortunately a product of his own environment, because if you don't know, Tay K's mother was actually a baby insane Crip, which is basically a gangbanger. And he even stated in an interview that his own mother, that is a gangbanger, taught him everything that he knows. Everything from the way he makes his murder music to the way he throws up his gang signs in his videos, it was all taught by his own mother. Now, if Tay K really is the savage he paints himself to be, then I'm just gonna have to say that it's extremely sad. The really sad part is that he's a very young guy with a very impressionable mind, and we all know that the younger you are, the more impact and the more influence your environment has on you. And the fact that his mother being a gangbanger really made him into the guy he is today is not surprising at all. To be honest, I hope that Tay K is a fraud, because that's gonna spare him his life. Now, when I say this, I don't mean that I don't think he should do the time if he did the crime. I simply mean that I hope he isn't the killer he says that he is, and that this is all just another way to sell his image and promote his music. So if you don't know, Texas is one of the easiest states in America to get the death penalty, which is scary for Tay K because they're gonna go hard for him. So whatever little evidence or witnesses they have, they're definitely gonna double down on that and try to take him down. But we, the public, can't really say for sure if Tay K is guilty because he hasn't been convicted yet. But the fact that Tay K is reinforcing this whole savage image to the world and the law, who literally has his life in their hands, that's really not helping his case. Because I can imagine how the court is probably gonna use Tay K's own songs against him where he talks about killing people, simply to strengthen their own case. But if Tay K really pulled the trigger in the fatal shooting that killed Ethan Walker, then he's gonna get what he deserves. But if it turns out that he's not about that life, then that's gonna spare him his life and then he can continue on his rap career, because as of now, Tay K is really blowing up and it's only a matter of time before he starts gaining a loyal fan base. We've seen that he already has a lot of cosigns from a lot of big names, and as long as social media keeps talking, Tay K is definitely gonna keep on blowing up. But what do you personally think about this whole situation with Tay K? Do you think that Tay K is really hip-hop's most savage rapper? Or do you think that Tay K is a fraud, that he's faking his entire image to promote his career and that he's really not about that life? So comment below and let me know your personal thoughts on Tay K 47. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about bringing together people like you who enjoy music and start a discussion on different topics like this. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, follow me on Twitter at BlackySpeakz, and I'm out.